Welcome to this, yet another edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. You know, today I was doing some serious thinking about this decision 2016. I mean, with all of the stuff they've been talking about with the various candidates and some of the stuff they aren't talking about as though there aren't other candidates, made me really get to thinking. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and let's have a little chat about this thing. You know, it was quite a few years ago when some turns of events in our country took place that, well, made us really sit up and realize that it's not quite the same America as it once was. Started back with, I guess, all the way back to Nixon. Our president embroiled in scandal that he was actually a part of something that at that time was considered very heinous. Video or audio taping and paying off people. I mean, my God, it sounded like something out of a Cloak and Dagger magazine or novel. Our president, the person that we hold in such reverence, a crook, even though he said he wasn't one. Later on, we come up with a president who, in vindication to his father, who was president, took on a foreign land, wanting to take down its dictator because of supposed weapons of mass destruction. Now we're hooked up in a war that's a decade and some old. We were involved with a president who committed extramarital sexual activity. Some may even consider it to be deviant activity in the White House, and then lied about it. I did not have sex with that woman. Then we have another president at present who is making shady deals with nations that harbor terrorists, the same types of terrorists that committed the most heinous, most disgusting, most horrible tragedy in our country's history. And even speaking of that, we then knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that we would never be safe again. A few weeks ago, while watching the PBS NewsHour on telly, one of their guests was asked the question, are we safer now than we were on 9/11? And he said yes. And I had to do a complete 360 and ask my own question, are you kidding me? We are worse off than we were in 9/11. And why? Because of the stupidity of politicians that we've been electing. People who don't care about us, their constituents, the citizens of this country. They'd rather make a deal and spend $400 million to the people who are most prone to hurt us than they are to take care of those who went and fought for us so valiantly. They don't care about us. Look at what they have been producing over the past 40 years or more. They produce super rich candidates that get still richer, and when they do get into office, they all get sudden bouts of amnesia. Oh, did I say that? Did I promise that? Too late. They've now been elected. They've been elected to do what they usually do, what they've done for the past years and decades, and that's give us the shaft while they take the elevator to even more riches. Establishment politics, establishment politicians have led to the degradation of our nation on every level you can possibly think of. And if someone were to invent a few more, they've already screwed us on those too. So you have to ask yourself, am I going to fall for this same garbage that I've been falling for over the past years? The same spewing garbage pit of the Republicans, the same cesspool of the Democrats. Am I going to fall for that? At which time do I, as an American citizen, wake up and say, no, no more? They try to keep silent those that we might consider ones to help us. The Libertarian Party, the Green Party, and every other independent out there. They're non-existent. Here we are, less than 100 days to Election Day. And some candidates are just now beginning to let you know who they are, this late in the game. Is it fair? Certainly not. Is it right? Most definitely not. But it exists because of the rigged, corrupt system of governance, system of politics that we use, that we have at our disposal. Now, we've got two of the most unpopular candidates in this country's history. Supporters in the Clinton camp don't like her, but they will vote for her because they don't like Trump. On the other hand, there are Trump people that can't stand the guy, but they'll vote for him because they can't stand Clinton even more. And a vote for either one of the two leads us down a path of destruction because they are both inept. They are both unqualified. They are both too bloody stupid and childish to be a good president. Sure, Clinton is experienced in corruption, crookedness, murder, anything defile and disgusting. She's more than qualified. But to be a good president, no. Now, if she's sick, I don't know that to be true, but if she is, then that would even qualify her even less to be a president, because her health may impede her judgment. Her health may even stop her life. And this other person, Trump, he's shown how unqualified he is. Just on the two factors of him being quick-tempered and thin-skinned alone would disqualify him. To be a president, you have to be a unifier. To be a president of a country, you have to, you're just the tool by which the people speak. Yours is a position of bringing people together for the betterment of the greater good. I don't think he can do that. He's shown in little what he would do in great. Clinton has shown in little what she would do in great. They're just super rich people who don't even have an inkling of who we are as America's poor, working poor, suffering middle class, totally depressed no class when you talk about those that are on the streets of our nation, hungering and suffering and in pain, including our veterans. To these two mainstream corrupt Politicians, it's business as usual. It's a political game that which they want to play at our expense. Well, there is someone out there that is gaining much ground. Her name is Jill Stein. She's a doctor turned, well, she claims that she's still a doctor. She's not a politician. She delves in political events and what have you, but this is a lady of substance. She's a very strong lady. She's no pushover. She's no mamby-pamby. She will get the job done. Now, am I a creature worshiper of hers? No. She and I don't agree on at least one thing. She was down in Louisiana. She was caring for the tragedy-stricken residents there. She was handing out meals and toys and actually talking to the people, but more importantly, listening to them. Was in Washington yesterday or either today to talk about the effects of what's going on down there in New Orleans for 2 instances now. More than 2, but 2 big ones. That was Katrina and this one. She blamed that on climate change. Now that's where she and I kind of part our ways, because I never did believe in climate change, even ever since this Gore guy. Almost said Boer, because that's what he is, a Boer. But when he came up, Al Gore, with this stuff, I didn't believe that garbage. Anything to get some money out of you. But I believe that Jill Stein believes in it for what it actually represents, because she has been a champion for cleaning up our earth, making sure our air and water and land are pristine, protecting our national parks, because as we know, the current administration doesn't care about the Constitution, doesn't care about the Bill of Rights, and therefore doesn't care about the things that other presidents have implemented to protect these sacred lands. Jill Stein is there. She's always been there. One might say, well, Donald Trump was down there. He was doing the same thing. But here's the rub. Where was Donald Trump when Hurricane Andrew hit the shores? Where was Donald Trump when Hurricane Sandy tore up the Jersey Shore? Where was Donald Trump when Katrina hit? Well, see, that's the thing. Before Jill Stein was somewhat of a household name, she was there. She and her team, she and the Green Party were there, helping, getting services in. That's who that lady is. I believe, not through creature worship, or not saying that she's some kind of Messiah who's going to miraculously come down with manna and wine from heaven and fix every bloody thing on this planet. No. I believe that she will do the very best she can in the office that she seeks, because it's within her to do so. As she says herself, she's no rich mogul. She does live better than average Americans. Her position, her career has afforded her that. But she considers herself no better than anyone else. We're all humans. We're all fighting the fight. We all want a land that is peaceful, that is clean, and that is pristine, where everybody respects the other person, because we have the tools to do that. A good paying job, a good education, and a good means by which our family can maintain a good lifestyle. That's what she's all about. And I believe she would work incessantly to make those goals come to reality. Why? Well, let's talk about that thing. Have you ever made a friend with this? Or have you made a friend with this? You can't make friends with clenched fists. You can't make friends, or at least make or enhance cooperation with a clenched fist. with a smirky face. You do it by working together, brainstorming, drawing people close together, not arguing with the person. And even if they do want to argue, your kindness can turn away wrath and rage. That's what we need in the White House. We don't need some arrogant, blowhard, pompous ass. We don't need some crooked creep that would rather do it the crooked way than to do it the way minus the corruption. We don't need that. We need, at this crucial time in our lives, a president, a leader, a commander-in-chief that will go in with good policies and work across the aisle to implement them for the betterment of the American people and not go into the job with their own agenda. Check your agenda at the door. It's about the American people. And this lady, Jill Stein, wants to facilitate that. Cutting all this bloated spending on the military. If you're going to spend for the military, make sure those monies are spent on our people, on our training, and on our equipment. But what we've been doing in the past is we've been furnishing bombs and armament and planes and ships and what have you to people who either let them get into the wrong hands or place them into the wrong hands so that we get shot with our own stuff. We get destroyed with our own stuff. That stops. Making deals with countries who are out to hurt us. That stops. Finding a way to deal with our problems in real time is what Jill Stein is all about. We're hurting. She knows that. And she also knows that we live in a very corrupt society, very corrupt politicians and lawmakers, and that includes law enforcement. She wants to find ways, and she has been working on ways with her running mate to break down this nasty barrier of racism. She's not afraid to shy away from it and say, well, that's not a problem that doesn't exist, or if it does, then it should be government who fixes it, when government is the one who perpetuates it. So with the little time we have left, we need to urgently spread the word that Jill Stein is out there and she's ready. She has been ready. She's been in politics almost 2 decades. And she's ready to make a good mark on this country, turn it around, and make sure it's in the right hands, and that's in the hands of the people. So tell your family. Tell your friends. Tell them to tell their friends. Keep this thing perpetuating so that everybody knows about Jill Stein. She's on, I think, about 65% of the ballots. She wants to raise it to 95%. She wants to get on that debate stage. Go to Jill Stein or Jill2016.com and you'll see a plethora of things across the dashboard. Get involved. Sign that petition to get her on the ballot. Sign petitions. There are all kinds of petitions about getting her on the ballot in every state. Get active in her campaign. I know we've been talking a lot about Jill Stein on this show, and that's how we're getting active. We want everyone to know that there are alternatives. And the best alternative that I can see is a person who is very friendly, very nice. Don't mess with her though, she'll get you. In fact, I don't usually do the Google Plus thing anymore because it irritates me, but today I went on there because someone had notified me of something. And I'd made a post for the first time in, I guess about 2 or 3 months. But it was so powerful, it was so cool. It was Jill Stein being interviewed by a brash, BBC interviewer that was a total bastard. But she handled him in a way that was mighty sweet. Never lost her temper. Never even frowned. She kept that beautiful smile on her gorgeous face. And she showed who the better person was by breaking that bastard down to his knees. We will have a link to that. Or if you don't want to link up that way, just go to Google Plus, look up Phil Taylor Jones, and it's pinned right at the top of my profile. Give a look. This woman is dynamite. I love her. She's a premier debater. And I know that's why these two establishment cronies, Trump and Clinton, are afraid to debate her because, one, she doesn't bring a lot of baggage or garbage to the debate stage so that it can get twisted and they get off point, off subject, which is the plight of the American people and how that can be totally obliterated so that we can live decent lives as we used to. They're not hung up in someone's emails, or at least she's not hung up in someone's emails or someone's bankruptcies or someone's crooked, sleazy husband or somebody's speech-stealing wife. She is a woman of substance. She is who we need in the White House. Jill2016.com. Please do yourself a favor and go there and check her out. We're so happy that we could bring this to you. As always, keep that smile on your face. Try to maintain some kind of happiness in this nutty, crazy world we live in. And as we always end it, dump the hate. Please try to increase the peace. We'll see you next time right here on the show. Bye-bye.